Hello. Lauren Monticelli.
So I'm back real quick. I like to talk about the piece I just played really quick. Again, I really feel like this is like an underrated miniature. I mean, it's Burgmuller too. I hope you can read that. It's not backwards. But I picked this up for $2, and I just thought it was nice because this isn't the typical beginner's Burgmuller type stuff. Some of this I thought was really hard. So, by the way, like I was gonna post one of these as a picture and see if people could guess that. At first, this. I'm gonna tell you what this passage looks like a simpler version of. Here in a second, watch. And this is exactly what I thought it was when I saw it in the store. Let me show you here. I got it. Give me 1 second. This. If you know what that is, I mean that looks very similar to me. It also looks like another piece which I don't have printed out. That Moreau etude. But of course much simpler. But I'm just saying, upon first appearances, I mean, you'll see that this has like 1,000 more harmonic changes, and this was just all like A minor E. But still, it also reminded me of the Mendelssohn. That one with the bump bump. I mean, all these pieces, to me, they're like exactly the same. They're just like the same pieces. They're just, and what's funny is that Mendelssohn is an A major. So it's like this was just this was an A minor. It's like literally the same thing. And that Moreau piece is also in A minor. The only one that's different is the Alcon. Just to tell you, like, why his music is so difficult. It's not only because of the many just inharmonic changes that sometimes are just really dumb. Like in the concerto here, there's a of course people know about. I'll just say I was the first person to make public, other than the book of Ronald Smith, on any public platform about these double and triple sharps and whatever. So I did this like over a decade ago. And anyways, but there's another passage here in the slow section where it's an inharmonic C major, and it's just all double sharps. I just passed it. Anyways, I'm just saying, not only is that what makes this music difficult to read, it's like once you have it memorized, you're like, I mean, if you memorize, I don't obviously memorize anything, so it's just not my thing. But it's C major, so I'll memorize something like that. I actually wrote it in there. But what I'm saying is all the other harmonic changes that he goes through are just completely unfounded in any other music, essentially. So, especially with the figurations that he uses, that's what makes it so difficult. So, in my opinion, I mean, that's just like one of the things. There's so many things I can keep going on and talking about how him and Czerny are absolutely fucking supreme. Just anybody who loves Beethoven, in my opinion, just should immediately realize that the appearance of all of Alcon's music is exactly like Beethoven's. Like there's no other composer whose music looks exactly like Beethoven's other than Alcon's. So it's just like how is that just not? It's like Old Testament and New Testament. How is this not of any interest to anybody? It just boggles my mind. Especially these people obsessed with Chopin too. It's like that boggles my mind. How would you not be interested in a figure like this that was just so intertwined in the circle of all the great virtuosos of this early time, of this early period? Just on and on and on about like whatever. And I just don't hear anybody else fucking talking about the shit that I'm talking about at all. And not even on the level of trying to explore. It's like, dude, if you were so into how Beethoven like sounded and stuff, it's like, why would you not study Czerny, and study the letters of Czerny, to know about Beethoven? So, that's my comment about that nobody is doing this, so, or talking about it. People think I'm fucking crazy. You know, I don't fucking care. You know, I'm the absolute motherfucking pioneer. You know, besides a handful of other people. I'm not saying I'm the only one. A handful of other people are the absolute pioneers in this field of you know, we are still in a renaissance. People, we like to think that like the Renaissance ended with the Victorian times and stuff. It's like we are still living the Renaissance. You know, it just the fact that like when I walk around, I walk around in absolute disgust, like you would walking around 300 years ago in the Victorian times, like wondering why they're putting mercury on their face and drinking like sulfuric acid or something, trying to get elixirs of life and stuff, you know. But they thought that shit was normal, and you know, like there's no difference nowadays. You know, we have no choice but to live within it. But I'm just saying, I see it all around, and you know, so that's why like comments to me like. You know, you know, your comments need to be very educated, and they need to be backed by your own opinions, and you need to have the discovery of your opinions on display. It's like you cannot have just a Reddit or a YouTube with nothing on it and then expect your comments to have any sort of foundation, you know? So, you know, I think there's a lot of users that do have that, and so those are the users that I like to watch, you know, and follow. And I'll just say there's a lot of them. I don't even want to name their names right now, but, you know, they put out like hour videos, and I will watch every minute of it because I feel like every minute of or second of what they're saying is genuinely, they know what they're talking about. So I'm gonna watch that. But you know, the other literally like 90% of other videos is just like I don't care. So that's that. You know, just again, so my other thing now is I was gonna read Charity Opus 756 number 10 because there's only two recordings of it, and I wanted to actually record this like a year ago, but I did not record it. I recorded the last piece of it, the 25th etude, which is in G minor. It's a really really fucking hard. I thought it was. At least that's what it sounded like. So anyways, but it's that's the last etude. You know, so again, what's interesting to me about, I'll just say Opus 756 is harder than Opus 299. So I wouldn't put it harder than 740 or not up there. But anyways, what I wanted to say, what's interesting about it is that it's only 25 etudes. You know, unlike a lot of his other books, which were like 50, or you know. So I thought that was really interesting, and these etudes also are quite different. You know, they're. I think one thing that people just don't understand about Charity is he called everything an etude, but like if you study like the pieces that I just recorded, let me see which one I just recorded. Sorry, let me recall the Opus because I wanted to explain that even though he called all these pieces, the Gratis ad Parnassum, it's one of his last works, okay? And you keep in mind, Charity died in I believe like 1856 or 1857, something like that. So you gotta like keep in mind what is Liszt trying to do at this time. You know, he has retired for a couple years and he's trying to like deeply compose and stuff. And he has just published his sonata and the last version of the Transcendental Etudes. You know, that's what's happening when Charity dies. Okay, so. You know, I see people like going in and out. Obviously, no one's interested in this, you know. Anyways, this Gratis ad Parnassum is one of the last works that he wrote, and it's like the second volume to Clementi's Gratis ad Parnassum. You know, so I'll say it here since no one's watching, you know, because I've been saying all this stuff, and I've never said it on or written about it, you know, about it. But what it comes down to is how do we know that Liszt dedicated the transcendental etudes to Liszt. How do we know that? And again, I read all the fucking letters of Liszt. It's like 2 fucking volumes. It's like 2,000 pages, longer than the Bible. This dude wrote so many fucking letters. It's unbelievable. It's like, and then how did you have time to write all that fucking music? But that's what people did back then. They did not have time to sit around on TikTok, sit around and live stream like we're doing and talk about bullshit. You know, they had to write that shit out. Anyways, there's a letter, okay? And this is the most important letter, and this is all about what I am doing. People are so confused what I'm doing. I'll just say this is not even explaining what I'm doing. It's just explaining what I'm doing for this past month, okay? That the whole bulk, the letter is only like 2 or 3 paragraphs, okay? And then it has a PS at the bottom, okay? And this is written the year before that the last version of the Transcendental Etudes are being published, and he has never talked to he keeps in touch with Czerny through letters, okay, and he doesn't like see him in person or anything. He keeps in touch with him through his music as well, through his publishings. Again, Liszt was aware of everything that Czerny published, from his simplest music for babies all the way up to all his grand exercises, all his sonatas, all his symphonies. You know, the only reason he transcribed the Requiem of Mozart is because Czerny already did it twice for 2 pianos. Again, he was the first person to do it, and for one piano. And if you go in to see what Liszt, the collection of that transcription, Liszt only went up, he only did like 2 or 3 pieces. He did like the Lacrimae, you know, and that's it. And anyways, I'm just saying, Czerny's the supreme. Okay, Liszt, if you want someone just like improvising stuff all over, but if you want true seriousness and down to the absolute essence of what the piece is Czerny's version. That's why I recorded. That's why I was the first person to record it. So anyway, we're gonna keep going on about this letter. Okay, you want to say, Eric, well, where can I find this letter if I can't find this online? Well, you can find it by just easily searching on Google letters of Liszt and searching what he did during his Iberian Spain tour, because that's the least amount that we know that Liszt ever did of writing music and touring. There's only 3 pieces that are known. One of them is like this Men chorus, and an unknown piece which has resurfaced to possibly be these Spanish rhapsodies and stuff, whatever, that everyone's now trying to record. So anyways, we don't know what Liszt was doing at these times is what I'm saying. And if you go search this letter, you're going to find that there's a PhD paper from a student at UNT, Texas of Arlington, who wrote a whole thesis on Liszt, and it's like 100 pages long. But in this thesis, you will find the letter of Liszt, because he's talking about the transcendental. And this, I'll just say, like I said, a circle of people are already talking about and know what I know and are saying it. It's just like they write this paper, and it's sad that no one is reading this paper, okay, except for me, you know. And their professors and the people but what I'm saying is, even their professors just read that just to, you know, is this person going to graduate or not? You know, it doesn't like phase them like it's phasing me as an absolute fucking epiphany that the world should be having, because we are still living the renaissance of music. You know, we live in absolute filth. We had COVID. Just the fact that we are susceptible to crap like this just to show you how dumb we are still, and how just you know, whatever imperfect everything is. And I'm not saying like, oh, it needs to be perfect. I'm just saying, like, I see the bigger picture. You know, I don't just see this. You know, like I already said, like, both the piano is a hindrance to my expression. You know, the current piano. So, you know, I know I'm trailing this out, but I want people to stick around. I really want people to hear this, and people are not hearing this. They go in and out. They're like, man, you're rambling on about all this stuff, whatever. I'm like, look, no one else is talking about what I'm talking about at all. So, anyways, go read this letter, and you'll find out that about a year and a half before Liszt published his Transcendental Etudes, he writes a letter to Czerny. He's asking, hey, Czerny, he always calls him master. He says, dear master. You know, that is like the most ultimate respect, okay? And he says, what are you doing? It's been a while. I haven't heard from you. The last thing I heard that you're working on is your Opus 856 Gradus and Parnassum, which I just recorded the whole fucking book. 4 books, 230 pages. Okay, this book was insane. It's harder than anything he ever fucking wrote. It's possibly absolutely the hardest music he ever wrote. Okay, and again, I'm the only person on the internet that has shown that I've actually even tried playing any of these pieces, is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, you guys can say what you want to say. It's like, I'm just sight reading this shit. You know, I don't even listen to fucking midis. So, what I'm getting at is, so Liszt specifically asks about this work that I just recorded that nobody else has recorded, okay, that nobody else fucking cares about, but Liszt cared about it while he was writing his Transcendental Etudes, the last version, okay, and he goes, how is that going? Is it finished? You will be sure to send me a copy when it's published. Yes? You know, that's exactly what he says. He's eagerly waiting to read this and see this new Gradus ad Parnassum, the last thing that that Czerny's writing, the second volume, the New Testament to Clementi's Gradus ad Parnassum, again, which I'm the only person who has also recorded. You know, and I have a whole long thing, I made it private, where I analyzed all 100 etudes of the Gradus ad Parnassum and showed how almost 30 of the etudes are the basis of all romantic music. You know, from Schumann's Piano Concerto to fucking Alcon, okay? And nobody cared about that. I'll just say, like, one person cared about that, you know, and the person that cared about it, if you go to their channel, it'll be like, wow, that's why they cared about it, it's because this person is that much more knowledgeable than me. That's why they were interested. So, anyways, as a footnote in that same letter, okay, then Liszt says to Czerny, oh, by the way, I'm dedicating my last version of the Transcendental Etudes to you, and then Czerny dies. Okay, that's the story. You know, I'm not going to say that shit again. Someone needs to like cut that and repost that and re-explain that, and also give me the whatever the peer review, you know, like when you're reviewing stuff and there's like all these things where you gotta, I don't think they even teach that in school anymore, you know, because we don't read books anymore, but you like go to the back at the end of the book and it's like you gotta like identify where everything came from, you know, and there's like a certain way to do it if it's an encyclopedia, if it's a video and catalog, so but now it needs to be cataloged back to my live video, you know, to say that, yeah, this is the guy who is really talking about this shit and realized this shit, you know. So, anyways, that's that, you know, and nobody knows about this shit. Nobody cares about this shit, you know, except for me, you know. And so I'll just have to keep talking about it, you know. But I'm just saying again, like people don't realize like the communization of Czerny's music. That essay is not a joke. That's absolute fucking fact. Okay, where does that come from, Eric? That actually comes from the same fucking PhD paper that this Liszt quote came from. You have to read it. This shit is just like absolutely at your fucking fingertips. I just don't understand how people just don't know this. And it just tells me it's because you're just blind, fucking blind, you know? So anyways, yeah, you gotta read that PhD paper. It was really good. It's one of the best papers I read in a while. And it's been out for a long time. It's like over 15 years old. So this is like not new knowledge by any means at all. Okay, so don't get me wrong. It's just, again, I'm the only person trying to bring it to constant fucking light. Okay? Anyways, please stick around, guys, because I'm getting a piano mood here. I've been waiting because This shit was supposed to be mailed to me Monday or moved Monday. Now the guy, he says it's gonna be today, so it's supposed to be. Anyways, that piano's going to my church. So anyways, that's where it's gonna be. But nevertheless, it'll be nice. So anyway, stay tuned for that, because that's like my hugest project for like the next year. I'm gonna at least go through it and tune it today, but definitely clean and wipe it down and vacuum it out. I gotta go all through it again. I didn't even play this piano. I just knew. Okay, I've been wanting a Kanabi my whole fucking life. Okay, it is so hard to find a fucking Kanabi that's not the baby grand Kanabi. It's like once they get into like the parlor size and especially concert grand size Kanabis, these are really rare instruments. So and I'm saying instruments where they have not been through a number of fucking hands and redone a number of ways. Again, like I don't know if you guys saw, I have this. I like that we were blessed, absolutely blessed with this piano for my church. Okay, that's all I have to say. So thank you for the lady who and the people. Again, I know it's part of the movers because like I know the story. we have the original paperwork for this piano that the lady got sold. This piano was again made in like the 1930s, which is it's crazy. So it's almost 100 years old. But the original paperwork that says the piano was sold for like 600 or 700. I barely even looked at it, but it was under 1,000. Okay. And so this one lady has had it her whole life. She upgraded to a Steinway. I don't know what kind of Steinway, but that's just kind of what it is. They were just flipping it, or had to get rid of it, and the guy just can't hold it in stock. That's just kind of what it is. So he's essentially just charging me like $100 plus the moving fee, you know, and which is really cool because again, I'm not like a piano seller trying to resell this shit. You know, I'm not trying to do that. This is like blessing my church with this piano. So anyways. It's partially redone. It has brand new hammers. It's all been refinished. So it's been refinished to where it has lost the decal. But anyways, it's cool because a lot of like I said, these old pianos like this are hard to find in one owner and then in good condition. And like you can even see, like I tuned a Kanabi about a year ago. And it was just a baby grand Kanabi. It sounded fantastic. For even the state that was in, it should just tell you what a great, well, American built piano these Kanabis were. That even in such a terrible condition, that I was still able to tune it. I did zero hammer work. It looked like a dog had chewed on these hammers. That's how bad these hammers. I was like, I don't even know how the hammers get that bad. Just even from like playing or something. I don't know. Something had to have happened. So anyways, but. You know, that's how solid that piano was. I didn't even clean it too, because at that time I just tuned. I did not. Okay. By the way, I offer and I'm about to do it too to this Friday. This guy has an absolute detailing package, you know, for your piano, which I recommend once a year. And it's I go through everything. I take out all the action. I vacuum everything. Pull out all the keys. Every brass part on your piano. You know, with the exception of like rolling your wheels, I touch and I make it shine and stuff. So I'll just say it costs hundreds of dollars and it takes hours, but it's just like, man, you want your car detailed, or you pay $400 fucking for your fucking haircut. It's the same fucking thing for the piano, you know. And I'll get it together, man. And I'll just say, after I clean these pianos, they play different. Okay, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize what a cleaning does for your, especially a thorough cleaning. It has to be everything, is what I'm talking about, and it's just not the dust. A lot of this has to do with the residue too. So that's what I'm saying. Once you clean up this residue, you vacuum it all out, especially on like balance reel pins and stuff. I mean, it makes a huge difference, and especially when you have balls of dust. A lot of people don't realize how much that slows your action up. So. Anyways, you can see that Kimball I just tuned, which was, by the way, it sounded the way it sounded because, one, it was a free piano, okay? So yeah, I tune a lot of free pianos. I'll say it's a great challenge. I'll just say it's made me that much better because a lot of tuners, they don't even touch these pianos, but you know, I see them as a challenge, and I like seeing them. So I think it's great that people have not trashed them. And so if someone is paying me to tune a piano that has been saved from the trash, you know, I will come there, and that's what I'm saying. I don't, you know, I'll just say people, one, they are really surprised at how much it costs to tune a piano, but I'll just say other piano tuners, they charge for every fucking thing. Like, even just to look at a sticky key, it'll be like $35, $40 fucking dollars. Like, look, if I'm not motherfucking there, it's like, if it's not something broken, or what I'm saying is, it'll be like a penny or a ball or pencil, and they'll charge $40 or $100 just for pulling out that pencil. And they don't say anything about that. I'm just saying I'm not a dishonest person like that. So I'll just say every fucking piano tuner in this area is fucking dishonest. That's all I will say about it. And so I'm trying to, again, just like with Charity's music, I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to make people want to have, you know, so many people have been screwed by these piano technicians in this area that they do not want to have an acoustical piano anymore. And it's a mixture of the movers and tuners. Because a lot of these movers, they steal shit or they do stuff wrong. So you know, that's real hard to find good piano movers, and especially a good technician. You know, I don't even want to start with all the bullshit that I've seen here for that all the tuners do here. You know, and even to my church. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that, but one time they were just really adamant about getting the piano tuned, and I didn't do it. Okay, because I don't charge my church for tuning the piano. I just do it. Anyways, but so they hired a guy to tune. I'm not going to name who it is, but I'll just say it's just one of the tuners in this area, and I'll just say he completely effed up the piano. That's all I wanted to say. You know, I had it perfectly fucking in tune. My church was complaining because just like in some other streams, or all my streams and videos, just like, look, a piano's got over 220 strings, okay, depending on what kind of piano you have. You know, they're like, that's already out of tune. People complain, oh, the whole piano's out of tune, but that's just how it is. You know, so anyways, that's what they were complaining about, like 3 notes that were out of tune. That's why I was like, there's not an urgent thing for me to go back home and like pick up all my tools and bring them back or whatever. And anyway, so they hired a guy just to fix these like 5 notes. And what he did is he took from like E to like G here. He tuned everything up a fucking half step, and then left the rest of the piano, or it wasn't up a half step. He tuned it sharp, like 4 cents or 5 cents sharp, everything. And then it like immediately stopped perfectly at these notes. And like these notes, outer notes were out of tune. And so it's like, because he was like, oh, because he knew that my church members only are going to play here. They're not going to notice some dumb shit down there. So I can't stand that shit. You know? So anyways, I'm changing that. You know, I can't stand the way that technicians deal and do things here. You know, for example, Solich pianos. You know, I've had a number of people call me out to come tune their pianos because they buy a $4,000 or $5,000 piano that Solich got for free off Facebook Marketplace, and all they do is clean it and maybe fix a few things, and they sell that shit for like $5,000, okay, and then they give a free tuning, a couple free tunings or whatever. But to schedule that tuning, it takes like 3 or 4 months to come out there, okay. So that's the kind of business they're running, you know, and people have called me because they just don't come out, you know. It's like they already sold the piano. They're already getting paid on monthly payments, whatever kind of payment plan. Either they got lump sum or they're getting payments, you know. So they never send a tuner out there. That's some shitty fucking service, Solich pianos. Okay, and I'll just say, okay, since I'm already naming names, that tuner was Greg of Forte Pianos in Lakewood, Ohio. This guy is terrible, you know. So, you know, I'm just saying, these are the people here, you know. And again, I'm not a piano seller, so I'm not one of these people. If I was to even talk about actually selling the pianos, oh my God, they're worse than car salesmen. So those are these people here, you know. And here's my mail, man. I'm glad. I love getting mail. Again, I'm just waiting. I blocked my whole day out waiting for this thing to get delivered at noon. So here, I got an hour and a half. I'm out of energy drinks. For the past 2 days, I've been out of energy drinks, guys. You know, I mean, I've still been surviving, but I'm just telling you, like, especially with my morning routine, like, I would have taken my break. I would have gone to my fridge and pulled out a effing ice cold, like, my mouth is, I'm talking so much, but my mouth is like literally watering for the energy drink. It's like that much a part of my day. I'll say, yes, it is one of my hugest weaknesses is that, and it's all artificial and everything, but all I gotta say is that shit gets me going. I love that shit. And so, yeah, man, luckily I'll just say I don't drink Monsters, because, man, Monsters cost so much money. Like a case of Monsters is like essentially if you're drinking one a day, like I'm doing, I if you guys notice, I drink Rippets, which you get at the Dollar Tree, and I don't drink any other flavor Rippet, by the way. I only drink, and I've tried them all, okay, just to see what they taste like, and they do make natural sugar versions, but the citrus version is, I think it's just always sugar free. So anyways, but that's what I drink, And anyways, I'm just saying, like, those, even if you go to like Sam's or Costco, man, a case of Monsters, man, that's gonna cost you like 20 something dollars, and then plus tax, and that's crazy. I mean, 24, that's not even lasting you a month, man. That's like you still need like another week of I'm talking about, you know, it's crazy talking, but I will say, talking about like Monster energy drink, but it's true. When you look at anybody's shopping list, people, we buy drinks and I'll just say liquids, milk, orange juice, apple juice, like cigarettes is what I'm trying to say. Like again, like I've complained about it, like like 60% of my grocery shopping I hate because it's just it costs so much to buy milk. Any of these like orange juice like fucking $10. Okay, orange juice is so expensive and you don't even get a gallon. You pay like $8 and you get like 90, 93 or 95 ounces. You know, it's not even a fucking gallon. Okay. The same thing with Fairlife milk. You buy 2 bottles of Fairlife milk for $10 and it is not a gallon. It's barely a gallon. Okay. And so you know what I'm saying is all these liquids, they're so expensive and they're so heavy. I hate, especially in the winter and it's coming along, man. That is the worst. And it's just like, you know, you're trying to carry some heavy stuff, man. You just slip and fall, and man, that's just so aggravating, you know. And so, anyways, I love grocery shopping, but I hate grocery shopping for liquids. Okay, and so I love having filtered water here. I have a few methods of filtered water. I use the Brita filters, but I also have like a sink filtration too with its additional filtration thing. But what I'm saying, like previously before when I lived in a house where I could install that, I was buying water, man, and I lived in an apartment, and it's just like water was one of those things. It's just like, man, you're trying to buy that and have it for the week, so you got to buy like 2 cases, even just for me, man. I was buying like 2 cases of water, man. And I'm telling you, the only way for me to get that from a big ass parking lot, to lug it inside these double doors, up inside freight elevators, up to like the 15th floor. This is where I was living at the time. You know, man, I had to get like a cart. I had to have a shopping cart. There was no way I was gonna go shopping at you know, unless you just have one bag. So everything I'd have to like have like a collapsible wagon. You know, they make those laundry looking cart ones. I'm telling you, that's not gonna hold liquids. Is what I'm trying to say. You have to have like I think I use like a baby cart. You know, like that you use for babies on 4 wheels, because that's the only thing that's gonna have enough sturdiness to carry liquids up 15 fucking floors. And so, anyways, that's a little bit about that. And as you know, like groceries and produce prices, this is like one of my greatest hobbies. Like sometimes I just go to the grocery store. Of course, I'll just say I'm always buying something, but I'll always spend time to go around the produce section and the meat section and look at all the prices of everything. It's like my favorite thing. And you know, I won't talk about it right now. But anyway, so I always know the prices of at least for my area, my local area, in all the grocery stores, what they're selling everything for: cilantro, like romaine lettuce, or how much are they selling these types of apples by the pounds, which apples are usually cheaper, which pears, red pear, and Jow pear, Roma tomato, tomatoes on the vines. There's so many fucking types of tomatoes, okay? It's insane. And the price difference is absolutely insane for tomatoes. You know, you can get just like cheap generic tomatoes at like a Save-A-Lot for real cheap, or you can go to like a higher end grocery store where they offer a larger amount of tomatoes. But man, you're no joke paying like a couple dollars for like 1 tomato. So, but anyways, like carrots, the price of carrots and limes and oranges. You know, the price of potatoes, you know, I'll just say fluctuates seasonally. It just dropped finally, you know, all the way up until maybe the end of September and October. The price of potatoes for like a 5-pound or 10-pound bag, so say it's a 10-pound bag of potatoes, was $5.97. Anywhere from $5.97 up to maybe like another $1.50 from there for 10 pounds. That's like really effing expensive, okay, for 10 pounds of potatoes. Okay, and then I noticed they started clearancing these potatoes, and the potatoes, they were just like old stock potatoes, and then I'll just say now it's like they get these new stock, I mean, you can tell when all the grocery stores, it's like they all get the same new stock of all the same vegetables at the same time. It's like if you watch all these videos about just the best one is like Aramark, or about like all our food, like our food chain, like just like our oil and our gas. Okay, it's all coming from like just like 1 or 2 people, you know. like corn, for example. Like, and again, I studied this. You know, my channel is not a joke. I like my background is not only like in biomedical science, it's also in animal sciences and agricultural sciences and nutrition. And so like all that stuff is, you know, I know every muscle in your body, I know every nerve, I know which one's going where, which nerve is doing what part of your Brodmann section of your brain is doing what, and this and that, and you know, and yes, I've studied chakras and I've studied every religion. I've not only studied them, I've practiced them. So it's just that's what Jesus did. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that. A-R-E. Okay, that's my belief. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, these potatoes, they all come from the same like places. You know, even though they're locally owned. What I wanted to say is corn. Okay, and potatoes, because every vegetable and stuff is like this. And you're like, Eric, well, no, blah, blah, blah. There's so many laws regulating all of our food chain, what you can and can't grow, and where you can and can't grow. France is like the worst. Okay, they're like with everything. I'll just say most Europeans are like that. Okay, but France is like, they like, you know, like only certain wines can be called certain wines when they come from certain regions. That's what I'm trying to say about France. And the same thing with their cheeses and everything. And I understand that's what makes it authentic. So I understand why they did that. So we can still make like Parmesan cheeses or like a Bordeaux's in the same styles, but it's not a true Bordeaux, you know. And anyway, so with potatoes, and the best example is corn, because a lot of people don't realize this, that every single year we grow one strain of corn for the whole fucking U.S. And every single fucking farmer buys that. So what I'm trying to say is, even though stuff is locally grown and locally farmed and stuff, it's no fucking different than another fucking dude in North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, or whatever. They've genetically engineered all these potatoes to be so fucking resistant and able to grow. It doesn't matter. You can grow them in the north, and you can grow them in the south, and you can grow them fucking year round, and they're all super fucking hardy. And that's all of our food is. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. So yeah, though it's locally grown here in Ohio, it's the same shit that's being grown down in Florida or in Texas or in Idaho and other places growing farm and wheat. But I'm just saying, especially corn. You know, that's because corn is a single thing. And so anyways, a lot of people just don't realize this about our food. And like Earmark, and all of our food is just like coming from like the same 100 ingredients. You know, it doesn't even matter. Like everywhere you go, you're eating the same fucking shit. Okay? And I'm not trying to like take the fun out of food. I'm just trying to put the realization into the industrialization into what we live. And again, like seeing the bigger picture, like Czerny, like, you know, like all the time when I'm eating anything or cutting anything, it's like I cannot help but realize that is the product of what I'm eating and a part of. So, and it's necessary, and that's how it is, but I'm just saying we should be aware of how it is, because when we become aware of how it is, things will start to change, and we'll be able to get a different strain of corn. You know, so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm tired of fucking eating the same fucking corn for my whole fucking life, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. And you know, you look at your cats and dogs and you feed them the same fucking shit every fucking day and night, and then everyone makes the comment, oh, how do you eat that shit day in, day out? It's like, look at you, you're the same fucking thing as that your fucking dog, except you fucking shit on a fucking toilet. You know, and you wipe your butt. You know, great. That makes you fucking intelligent, bigger. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no fucking difference. You know? And once you study the A-R-E, then you'll realize. So anyways, yeah. And I don't know if this Life on Mars, was that a song, or... Again, I don't do songs or anything, because look, I got a copyright claim on my last upload on that piano at Giuseppe's wine cellar. I got a fucking copyright strike on that immediately. I already disputed that. And what did I get a copyright strike from? From fucking Sony. From Sony for fucking playing Leave It Strong. And I didn't even play Leave It Strong. It was an abridged version, and I play it all myself. And then again, someone wants to leave me a fucking comment saying, oh, nice virtuosity, whatever, but not quite romantic. One, you're taking this all fucking out of context. You know, that was the last fucking shit I played after fucking like 30 minutes. Please watch the original video, which I know you didn't because no one watched it. It's only got like 30 fucking views compared to like 800 to the short. You know, and that's what's fucking wrong with the shorts. And then second, nobody is playing. I'm the ultimate romantic. No one plays that shit more romantic than me. Everybody plays that shit just as fucking boring, bland, fucking manila fucking paper, exactly as fucking written slower, faster. It's like no one plays it like me. I always change. I have my own ways of playing absolutely every fucking part of that piece. You know, it's like how much more romantic can you get? That just tells me when you see Liz play, you would get so jealous and cry and fucking just to have big shit in your pants and need your grandma to come fucking pull your pants up and wipe your butt and remove you from the audience because you can't fucking take it. You know, that's like almost everybody here, I'm just saying. You know, unless you got your own fucking YouTube channel posting your own fucking bullshit, then that's probably you. And I hate to fucking call you out like that, but that's just like fucking Eminem calling out his own fucking fans, Tool calling out their fucking fans, and all these fucking bands of the past and shit. You know, drones and lambs and sheep and whatever. I'm not calling you guys that, but I'm just saying, it's just the truth, the vast majority. You know? And so it's like either with my movement and you're with this forward movement, or you're not. You're left behind, motherfucker. Yeah, so I also want to talk about my last post, you know, Goo Goo Dolls. I'll just say, you know, I mean, I'm not like ultimate about them, but I had their CD. I dug them when they were out in the past, and I'll just say it's great to see them looking good. You know, that's the worst thing when you hear about these in any band just dying for whatever reason, you know, and you know, them having to replace somebody. You know, it's great. They carry on to the tradition, but I'm just saying, you know, it's just that originalness is never the same again. You know, the hole is never filled, you know. And anyway, so what I want to say is really nice to actually hear these songs performed, like, with acoustic and just on the tiny bits. I'll just say I really enjoyed the concert. But what I said is, like, what I wanted to more say that I didn't really say in there is that I said, like, solo artists who have fused flamenco, prog, pedals, and tapping. And I know there's some I don't want to name the artists, some artists that are like I'm not jealous of them. I mean, I'll just say they're definitely doing their thing. But I'm trying to explain what is different from the past and now. What's the thing about now is everybody has fucking social media and everything is about me, and about my own fucking brand, about my fucking big butt, and about me shaking my dumb shit in front of the fucking screen and all this dumb shit, me shit. So nobody wants to start a band. Everything now is about fucking collaboration. Even when you fucking go on YouTube, it's like I have the option to invite and collab. You know, it's like, look, if I had a motherfucking band, it's like you have to fucking start a band channel. You can't fucking collab with all fucking 5 channels. That's what I'm trying to say. It's always a collab or feature, you know, and then about my own shit. So that's what's wrong with these. That's why we have no more fucking bands anymore. Every motherfucking person is trying to do their own fucking one-man fucking show, you know. Not to say that they don't play in group settings, but what I'm saying is that's why you don't have these just huge power bands with just amazing fucking songs. You just have all these people just coming out with all this weird fucking shit, and then you have people reacting to just like, why is that shit so fucking weird? And it really is weird. It's just like, it sounds electronic, you know? It's like you got a whole fucking channel. Look, this is the neighbor cat. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can't, so sorry, the reflection's not there, but you can't see there's another cat. It's my neighbor's cat. My cats go wild seeing the other cat, especially my black cat. It's really fun. I think it's funny. So they're always talking with the neighbor. So that's what they're doing. So I'll stand out of the way so you guys can see them, but I'm still going to talk. But anyways, yeah, you know, look up any like big new guitarist that has a new type of sound and look at what they're doing. Okay, go to their TikTok and go to their Instagrams, and you'll see that like there's just an absolute imbalance of musicianship all over, okay? And that's, I didn't write that about about the Goo Goo, because I didn't want to leave that on the Goo Goo Dolls video, you know? And I thought that comment was already too long, but that's the truth. You need to look why and ask, why are these artists, you know, and if they have a band, it's like it's because they hired their own band, and then it never stays the same. It changes, you know. So that's the other thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like you have like these power fucking bands like of the past where like when they replace the singer, like Journey or something with that the Indonesian guy, which was fucking amazing by the way. You don't have that anymore. It's just very different. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame very recently. They up as I'll just say as a I didn't know this, but I'm gonna start going every year. I'll probably live stream it again for next year for every exhibit because I'm really into that. I think that's awesome to have the Hall of Fame within literally I can walk to the Hall of Fame. And anyways, I get to go there for free every year as a resident here. So that's just cool because if you read about how much people donate to our orchestra, I'm going to talk a little bit about our orchestra. And if you guys know anything about classical music, every fucking recording, like up to like through the 60s, like from the 1900s to the 60s, like famous recording was done with the Cleveland Orchestra, and so many great artists have come through here and whatever. I don't want to but literally, maybe times have changed now, but in the past, and I completely disagree with Horowitz and that one comment that he said about Americans. I'll just say he said that completely as a non-American, okay? And I'll just say maybe he got American citizenship, but that is a completely idiotic fucking comment. So, because I'll just say if you go listen to what he's talking about and the orchestras he's talking about, and go listen to the recordings of the European orchestras that he's talking about. They sound like shit and they can't play together. So that's what the European sound lacks is the American precision. That's what American made is. I'm just saying these are the different schools of sounds and stuff. And anyways, and that's what Horowitz didn't like about playing with an American orchestras is that we were about precision. And anyways, I don't want to get into it, but you have to look into when he played and who he played with conductors and stuff. Everybody's like that. So in the classical world, again. So I'm not going to get too much into that, but what I'm trying to say is Cleveland Orchestra has a lot of historic recordings. I'll just leave it at that. And most recently, like I said, I bought in my car the Garrick Olson with the Busoni Concerto on Telarc. That's a more recent recording, but I'm just saying that Concerto essentially has not really ever recorded ever at all. Even when you go on YouTube, there's a few people that have their own personal recordings, which is great and nice that they share that. But what I'm saying is, as far as commercial recordings, they're a handful, and things are different now. But I don't know how to explain it, but it's just streaming has completely taken over, is what it is. And I'll just say someone responded to one of my comments on a rock video I left, and I left a comment. Because when you start listening to a lot of rock, I'll just say you can hear it in piano music, but just truthfully, to hear the true dynamic difference in recordings, you need to be listening to music which has drums, and if you can successfully capture voice and drums through microphones on piano through recording. I'm not going to get into. I'll just say it's not my expertise, but I'll just say as a musician, I know what the sounds I'm wanting to hear, and I've dealt with it a little bit. But I'm saying those are the instruments and the things which you're going to notice most when the bit rate changes. And that's what I was saying. That's the thing with streaming is that everything has been downgraded, bit rate, whatever. There's not the fidelity of the CD of just completely uncompressed data. And so that was my thing. I was like, well, you should buy the CD and listen to the CD, because that's me. Everything that I like, I'll go out if I love the band, here's the thing, the System of a Down, I love the band, so I bought their record, same thing, this chick, I love her, so I bought her record, Irina Farina. This music was on Saturday Night Fever, the John Travolta movie, I believe. So that's what I'm talking about. And then obviously with all this other stuff, look, I don't download all the fucking Alcan. I have it here, and then if I don't have it, I print it out. So that isn't buying, but I'm just saying I try my best to buy the shit. I'm just not this fucking whore that just rapes the artist, you know, again, if I like Hillary Hahn, I got her, go watch my opening video. It's a pretty nice one. But I got her signed record set. It was really cool, man. It's like, had her recording, got her autograph, and it was limited edition and everything. So it was really cool. And again, my only comment, well, I'll just say it was nice to have. So thanks, great. And it's I played it one time. Obviously, don't want to play too much, but it's just storage. You know, I mean, I probably bought it intended to never play it. It's just like a souvenir, you know. So, anyways, but it's on my shelf. So, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I like Hillary Hahn, so I bought that. You know, I just didn't download all her stuff. You know, and that was expensive too. That was a limited edition type of record. I don't know how she advertised, but I remember like I saw it through Instagram, okay, and then I think she later advertised on Facebook Marketplace too. But anyways, you had to click the link and go to like a special limited edition website to buy it from. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. See what else is going on. I really want an energy drink, guys. Like, I might just leave and go buy one and come back. I want to take a shower too. I haven't taken a shower. Anyways, I do want to talk about this Burgmuller again. I just want to recommend it. You know, again, I think this music is underplayed. I think it's charming. You know, and again, I'm saying like I'll just say Lang Lang will probably play. It's just I'll just say very recently, last couple months, you got to look it up. He has had some incredible, just really unbroken, like kind of just musings on simple piano pieces, and I think for me, that's been particularly interesting. Some of it is in Chinese, and YouTube has not translated it either, so those I cannot watch, but some other ones are dubbed in English or translated in English. But what I'm saying is he goes through some really simple stuff. He's going through some Czerny and Clementi, stuff like that. So anyways, and it's really nice just to see him play and his thoughts on everything, and you see how serious even that music is. But so what I'm saying is, you know, like for example, I will say this, for like a pianist like Marc-Andre Hamlin, like I said I could have heard him play again. I heard him play a lot of things. I heard him do a lot of interesting recitals. You know, I got to hear him do the Florence Price Piano Quintet before he released that on CD very recently, and then I also got to hear him do the Charles Ives Sonata. And then what I'm getting at is part of that recital that he did. He did a Schumann like forest type pieces or something like that. It's like 18 pieces or whatever, and like one of them's really famous. But what I'm trying to say is, this is just as long and just as miniature, is what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, pianists that explore these Schumann miniatures and elevate them to these levels. I'm just saying, I really think this music should be on that same level as well. You know, and elevated with the same amount of dignity of thought. Does that make sense? And when that amount of dignity of thought and revelation is given to this music, that's when its essences will be realized among the general public. So that's why I recommend this book. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, so this is I wanted to start out my stream also by reading this forward, but I thought it'd be a little bit corny. And also when I read this forward too, I thought it was a little bit corny. But again, after playing through the work, I really felt everything was convincing. I could hear it. Like if you heard all this stuff practiced out, you know, perfectly, because how people want stuff, you know, like perfect and whatever. I think it'd be just very convincing music. It'd be very charming music, you know? And so I'm just saying, I immediately noticed that just flipping through the pages without even playing it. That's why I bought the book. So I recommend that book. I recommend the book. So now back to my Czerny 795. Or sorry, 756. My bad. So let's see how many times. I love keeping track of this. This has almost been downloaded 5,000 times. Keep now. What's today? Today's November 20th. So in 2025, almost near the end of the year. This was uploaded in 2008. So 18. You know, so more than a decade. This has been online, well over more than a decade. This has been online, okay, and it still hasn't broken 5,000 downloads, okay. So, anyways, it's 101 pages too. One of Cherny's shorter works is what it seems like. And again, I recommend 856 to everybody. That was legitimately some of the hardest Cherny I've ever tried to read. You know, and again, what I wanted to talk about is because this is where this tangent is finally coming back. If you scroll back like 30 minutes, you'll see this is where my conversation started. What I was trying to say, people are turned off, they don't understand Cherny's music, is because he calls every single piece an etude. But if you, like in the 856, what I'm trying to say, again, 856 has to do with the whole conversation about Liszt's transcendental etudes, his Liszt's absolute interest in that, and then also the dedication to the transcendental etudes, blah blah blah. This is what was on Liszt's mind was that Gradus ad Parnassum. And anyways, what I'm trying to say, every fucking piece in that Gradus Parnassum is called etude, but it's subtitled under all of them. It's like ballad and the preludes and fugues. So that's what I'm trying to say. Czerny called his prelude and fugues etudes. So that's what people need to get across their mind. That even, you know, here a great example, which I recorded. I'm the only person who recorded, was the 25th etude in B minor of I forget this composer's name. It's gonna come to me, so I gotta look it up. But what I'm saying is it's 20. He's like one of the first composers to do the 24 preludes, right? And the last prelude, it's in B minor. It's a sonata. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's titled prelude. That's what I'm trying to say. So I wrote a whole long thing about this piece, why it's so big and amazing and historically significant piece that nobody plays except for me. So again, my channel is not a joke. What a fucking uninformed comment. Anybody saying that? So in all truth, what I'm going to do, this is getting close, I mean, I'm probably going to take a shower now and then just get my energy drink on the way, because here I am, again, waiting for, window from 12 to 4 p.m., waiting for my piano to get fucking delivered today. So what am I, luckily the church has another piano, so I'll be playing that, but still, man, it's like, It's the upright piano. This is the reason why we're getting the grant, is because, and again, 3 things about the Kanavi piano. Tchaikovsky was sponsored by Kanavi when he was touring around. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. I messed that up. Okay. So yes, Tchaikovsky was sponsored by Kanavi, okay? Then number 2, our Star Spangled Banner was written on a Kanavi, and it was a square Kanavi. I didn't know this, but Francis Scott Keyes, the writer of the Star Spangled Banner, he had a special Kanavi made, and I guess he wanted the square grand or whatever, but it's like ornate. I'm trying to find a picture of it. I haven't found a picture of it yet. I haven't searched. But anyway, so that's the second thing, and then the third thing, the Kanavi piano was and it's the most important to me. And again, you know, getting the grant also is because we have a choir at my church that I play with. So what I'm saying is it was the piano of choice for the Metropolitan Opera for 60 years. It's just I read that comment on everywhere. But I also went to the Kanavi website. That's like one of the big things that they're real proud of too. So that's what I'm saying. It's the singer's instrument, and I'm just saying I couldn't imagine a more perfect instrument, you know, to have for choir. So I mean, not to say that like, you know, any other instrument would be better, but I'm just saying it's like it has like the force energy of creating good choir sounds. I don't know if that can make sense. So I think I did actually read some of this book out to you guys before. I think I did play one of these pieces. I played the 25th one and I played another one. Man, yeah, the 25th one's really hard. I thought it was hard. This piece reminds me of it sounds like Schubert. That's the other thing. Sorry, not about cheering. It's like all these people love Schubert so much. Oh my God, there's so much to say about Schubert. One, Beethoven did not know about Schubert until his deathbed. And then again, that's kind of where the story ends. But a lot of people don't say, how did he find out about Schubert? It's because of Czerny. Okay, and how do we know that? Because Czerny was the first person to transcribe the Schubert songs for solo pianos. Why did Liszt do it? Because Czerny did it already. Okay? How did Beethoven know about Schubert? Because Czerny introduced Schubert to Beethoven, just like he introduced Scarlatti and also some unknown works of Bach to Beethoven. Okay, I'm not dogging Beethoven. I'm trying to give you guys the picture of how people were connected to each other back then, and the flow of knowledge. Where did it come from? Like the Library of Alexandria. That's like this is, to me, this is like saying knowledge that came from the Library of Alexandria. Like to say we had it just happens to be in like the New York Metropolitan Library. It's like, oh, someone goes there and then they give the Metropolitan Library all the credit, not Aristotle for like discovering all these theorems and the pentatonic scales and stuff. Oh man, the Metropolitan Opera. No, that's what I'm trying to say. All this stuff, like Czerny came up with this. Czerny was the person that found this music. Czerny was the one that was exploiting and reviving Bach along with Mendelssohn. Okay, and again, more so with Mendelssohn. Show me anywhere in the piano literature where do we have any type of writing of Mendelssohn that's pedagogical about Bach and his music and his editions. Zero, nowhere. Okay, so and again, what I wanted to get at is all these people love Schubert so much. Oh my God, his songs, they spend their whole life like singing in German and all this shit. In my opinion, it's great. It sounds stuff, but I'm just like, why can't shit sound different? It's like you're just like walking in the same footsteps with a bigger foot. Like your foot, instead of a size 6, you have a size 9 foot. But it's all the fucking same. So it's like we're in the same shoe. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyways, what I'm getting at is Czerny's music is just like Schubert's music, and anybody who just is all about Schubert's genius and realization, oh my gosh, melodics and all this dumb shit. It's like, how do you not hear this when you come across Czerny's music? You must be absolutely fucking deaf or you're ignorant. Okay, and that's what it is. You're fucking ignorant. Look, and see, that's my pastor waiting. I'm gonna say, no, I'm just guessing he will be there for the window of 12 to 4 p.m. I'm getting ready to go up there, probably just practice on the upright or organ. Look, I'm going to be genuinely just disappointed now if I go to the church and I wait 4 hours and this guy does not come through. Today. So, yeah, we've been waiting on this man. So anyways, I'm going to leave my stream on for a second so you guys can just chill out with my cats or whatever, but I got a lot of stuff to do. I also got to pack my car with cleaning stuff because, again, I'm preparing to get this piano done, so I'm expecting it. I'm gonna bring some music. I'm gonna probably replay this again on this chart up there. So, anyway, stay tuned. Okay, I'm at least in contact with this piano mover. He has the original legs, which is good. So the piano is indeed complete, but he needs a helper to move the piano. He's trying to find a guy. So probably all this has to do with that we only agreed on $100 more for this moving. So anyway, we're gonna wait a little bit, and then I'm gonna go up there. transcendental exercises. And you'll see what I'm doing are his 5-finger exercises all up and down the keys right here. I'm doing it in time. And in my left hand, what am I doing in my left hand? I'm sorry I forgot, but it was a sequence. It was not fucking random. And it was from something classical that everybody fucking already knows. The greatest homage is flattery. The double harmonic minor scale, just going up, down, and half step. E, F, F sharp, G, A flat. See, that's exactly what I was doing. It was not fucking random. It was almost Czerny, like boring and exercise-ish, like, you know. What was that? See, I'll just say in my playing, because people complain, like I did this years ago, so just go back in any of my improvisations for the last 5 years, or any of my compositions, I repeat things more than once, absolutely more than one time, to show that it's not random. Because if it was absolutely random, you'd never hear it again. You know, but everything was meant to be. My music is not a joke. Open your ears. People are motherfucking deaf. So I just played that like 4 times in a row. And what was it? It's Prokofiev, Suggestion Diabolique. Which is a piece I like. Check out my recording. I recorded it. Not on a sheet music. But, just a video recording. I'm actually on this piano, which I've been meaning to repair and do it on video. It just hasn't happened yet. But yeah, so back to my conversation before I took a shower. You know, what immediately was absolutely apparent to me about this piece, this 25th piece. Exactly like his unfinished symphony in B minor. It's just in B minor, but here it is in G minor. Exactly what Schubert would do. So that's my thing. It's like, you love Schubert so much. Oh my God, I spent my whole life studying all these songs and singing fucking horribly, just thinking I'm some majestic fucking beast when I'm just some buffoon who eats and shits like fucking every other thing who's ever fucking lived. You know, and I don't want to study. I don't want to study Czerny. The next fucking level, absolutely beyond my comprehension. It's like people that only want to fucking just solely focus on like absolutely obscure Old Testament documents, and then like have no idea what the New Testament is, and won't even recognize that it even fucking exists. That's just how this is. But it's how I see it. You know, until the world fucking changes and starts saying, oh man, this dude fucking Val's melancholic, he woke me up. You know, no. I mean, I'm not saying woke to be like change your hair, dye, and think I'm like he, him, sure, they. I'm glad that shit is done with. But man, fucking, woo! I mean, I'm not even getting into it. Just glad that's over. You know, and they should definitely be removing flags and removing pavements and stuff. And we should be bringing back the American flag, American pride. You know, you wonder why fucking North Korea didn't fucking do shit while fucking Trump was in power, and then fucking Biden comes in power, and then fucking immediately Ukraine and Russia want to rush in. It's because he fucking didn't do shit. Just even having a fucking show a military show. We should be doing that as a fucking American pride. Look, I'm not even fucking like white American and I want to do this. So it's just like, if you're fucking white and you don't want to celebrate our military and those who died before you, it's like, get out of our fucking country. You know, that's the motherfucking truth. And any fucking worker who's complaining about having to work for that event should be absolutely ashamed of himself for even being fucking American. It's like, go to another fucking country, live there, you know, and don't come back. Because once you live there, you're gonna fucking realize how shitty it is and how fucking amazing it is in America. You know, that's why everybody's trying to come here. Nobody's trying to come to our borders anymore. I mean, like, wow, I'm not talking about that dumb woke shit, but I'm telling you, again, with this, it's almost like that woke shit that everybody talking about Beethoven. That's how I see it. I see it as people dyeing their hairs, trying to be transsexuals, changing their names to Buchner or whatever, and thinking they're fucking females or whatever. You're fucking a man in a dress. You know, you got X and Y chromosomes, ARE. Fucking read these books, study genetics, and open your mind. And like, then you will be with my movement. But until then, nobody is. Very few. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. It's like I stand absolutely fucking alone. To be honest, I thought a lot of the Schubert sonatas are really fucking boring. I have them right over on my shelf. I have a recording of all of them. I played them all. You know, so like I said, I have not found another composer whose music is more interesting to me than Czerny's in the classical sense. You know, so and anybody who thinks otherwise is just absolutely motherfucking deaf and ignorant. You know, please go back and watch all my fucking live streams and listen to all the parts where I talk about Czerny and Beethoven and the realm in which it happened. Please go read my essays. They are not jokes. It's the fact that you even read that and think it's a fucking joke just shows you how fucking ignorant you are. Like you think the world is still fucking flat. That's how dumb it sounds to me when you laugh at my writings. Because my writings are all founded upon theologic works that have been peer-reviewed by professors at numerous colleges. You know, and again, they peer review and they graduate, they matriculate these students still just reading the material, not even understanding what they're reading. You know, or else they'd be saying exactly what I'm saying. You know, but again, I stand alone. I'm the only motherfucker saying the shit. So. So yeah, I'm just saying, you look at all the Liszt transcriptions that he did while Czerny was alive up to the 1850s, you know, and then look at what Czerny did. And you will see that Liszt just copied everything that Czerny did. Everything. His Requiem, all his arrangements of any fucking popular tune, Czerny did it as well. I'm just saying, he did it first. And Liszt knew about it because Czerny played it. And if you're wondering why his first versions of the true transcendental etudes are so difficult, that's why. It's because he studied Czerny's music, and he wanted to do something more difficult than Czerny. And that's why it looks, even the appearance of it, it looks like Czerny. The appearance of the first version of the transcendental etudes looks very classical. No, a lot of people don't even comment about that. You know, like number 8, instead of going, it starts like this again. His technical fucking exercises book, which nobody is studying or even just noticing and hearing, but he goes. And then the other etude. So I never learned that version, but anyways, what I'm saying is everything in the transcendental etude, every fucking figure, in all, even fugues follet, it is already done by Czerny, is what I'm trying to say. Czerny already did it. And then you see where Liszt got these techniques from. You know, even La Campanella, people think that's so fucking hard. You got to study the Czerny exercises because, again, I'm going to just drop some other Czerny knowledge on you. Czerny says you should be able to play scales and octaves of 3 octaves distance with the feeling of playing with one finger. You know, that's how easy it should be. So we see all these motherfuckers trying to struggle, you know, again, like even in the Liszt sonata, this part. Something right there. So I've already forgot the piece. But I'm saying, but the left hand is going like this. One, it's up high in the register, and two, I'll just say it doesn't even reach Czerny's distances. You know, I'm just saying that's why I was able to sight read that shit slowly already, because I already studied Czerny. You know? So, anyways, I feel like I'm just walking around a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. That's just all I can fucking say. Everybody's just so motherfucking dumb. Even when I've been to every fucking college here too. Like I said, I played for all the teachers at CIM. You know, they like had never heard playing like mine. You know, and again, they said they had 2 fucking concert grand pianos. They're all sitting on a fucking bench, like 7 of them, with pads and papers, you know, just with notes and stuff, because that's how they do shit there. You know, everything has to be written down and whatever. I'm just saying, look, we live in a motherfucking world of AI, and nothing has to be motherfucking written down anymore at all. We have computers that can instantly re-synthesize it and tell you exactly what you're playing. There's absolutely no motherfucking need to be writing music anymore. And this is the first time I've really said that, but that's why my channel is the way it is. And that's why nobody understands it, because they don't appreciate or acknowledge instant composition. That's what jazz people love. That's why I love jazz so much. They get it. You know, I'll just say every jazz person I've been around loves it, and they're like, man, they just want to give me tips, you know, on playing and people to listen to, and especially recordings. You need to listen to this recording with this piano player and stuff. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of shit to listen to, and obviously you see what I like, but that's what I'm trying to say. You don't get that in the classical world at all. Everyone just wants to shut their butt up, and then they get it. I'm just saying, go look at the video of Gabriel Montero with the violinist and Yuja Wang, and they're sitting at a piano playing some dumb, just tango shit in fucking C minor. She couldn't even fucking play like a chromatic scale over that. I would be like, man, fucking C harmonic, fucking minor, all over that bitch. I mean, even that would have fucking sounded good. It's just dumb. She didn't do that. That's all I'm trying to say. So that's the classical fucking world. I'm just saying that's the reception I get from everybody, you know, from here. You know, they leave me these dumb fucking messages, and then you go to their channels and you see the fucking dumb shit they're doing nothing that I'm doing. They're saying nothing that I'm saying. I've said everything they're saying and more. So that's just, again, part of my musical mantra or whatever. Please go watch all my live streams where I talk about everything. No one is with my movement. Actually, there's a few people, so thank you. The few people that are on my movement, well, that's what I'm trying to say. The few people that are on the movement, they still think it's a joke, and they're just being nice. That's what I'm saying. It's not a fucking joke. It's fucking serious. ARE, clairvoyance, transcendence, go read about it. Open your mind. You know, I am everything. Podiatrist, a strength trainer, theologian, writer, look, orator. I'm talking right now. I've written all this fucking bullshit. I do play fucking oboe. I do fucking play drums. I do fucking play piano. I do fucking play organ. I do fucking play recorder. You know, this is not a fucking joke. This is just absolutely beyond my mind. So anyways, it's 12:30. I said I'd be up there about 1. So I got to get going. So I will try to live stream from my church. But I already tell you that when I'm live streaming right now, I'm live streaming through my Wi-Fi. And then you've seen it how even when I go to my garage, if my Wi-Fi gets weak, how shitty the stream gets. So I've seen the streams before. I've done it before. I was really disappointed because one of my favorite streams that I did, I was practicing a lot of Chopin nocturnes. I'm just saying, I'm not always in the mood to play his nocturnes. Again, like, I'm not dogging Chopin, but that's what I'm just saying. To do a whole lifetime, it's like you have to truly be absolutely, especially to not express yourself. That comes down to it. It's just like, I could never live my whole life just playing somebody fucking, I have to play my own shit. Listen to my Grand Suite for solo piano, no one can play my shit, okay? Nobody. You know, that shit's been out for over 20 fucking years. The people that I've dedicated all my music to can't even fucking play it. They don't play it, they won't record it. So, you know, that's, I don't know the comment about that, but I'm just saying there's some underlying reason, right, why something doesn't get played. So it's either too hard or you don't like it. Anyways, I'm just saying I have not come across many composers writing music in the idiom that I'm writing music with the technical development and reasoning and harmonic development reasoning. You know, here's the thing: you never hear that in any fucking classical composition at all. You know, like you hear it like, you know, but that's it. But you won't hear it like that. That's all I'm trying to say. People, a lot of the classical pianists, they don't even fucking understand what that was. You know, like, you know, just have that same, that really dissonant 13th sound in every fucking key, and know what it is when you're hearing. And then you're just, oh, that's just all fucking Liszt. And then Alcon is the same fucking thing, just a flat 9. That's just what, like, this is Liszt and this is Alcon. That's the difference in all their music. And then you'll see that Alcon, he approaches it different. He always is the flat 9 first from the top. You know, and really the only time Liszt uses this stuff is like in Hungarian Rhapsody, which is one of the scales in G sharp minor. But I'm saying he only uses it one time. He puts a double sharp. That's what I'm saying. I do absolutely fucking different. That's ever seen in classical music is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to explain that yes, it does show up, but in classical music, even in the theory books, they don't explain it. They don't have a scale name for it. Is what I'm trying to say. They have a way to describe altering the scale by altering the degrees, but there is not a name for the scale. And that's what I'm trying to say. I've already done that. Like, just like Busoni, you know, they say it came up with like 216 scales, and so a lot of people don't even know that. So I'm just saying I've studied Busoni. It's not a fucking joke after Busoni. Yeah, I joke. I would say it's not a joke. It's absolutely complete homage, because I'm trying to do everything Busoni did and more. Is what I'm trying. I'm already at the next level, past Busoni of what he did. He did a lot of interesting scale stuff, is what I'm trying to say. So, anyways, you know, just playing Busoni's works is like the absolute, like, you might as well just like twiddle your thumbs. You know, that is not, you're not doing the right thing, in my opinion. You know, you need to be playing your own versions of these works, which I've done. I've done my own version of the Ciccone. I've done my own version of the guitar lute concerto. Again, it's not fucking for guitar. All these guitars, stop playing this work guitars. It was never meant to be played on guitar, and that's why you gotta fucking use the capo bar. You know, shit's annoying. I don't want to hear David Russell or any motherfucker on guitar ever play these pieces. They're written for fucking keyboard. So, anyways, a lot of people don't fucking know that. Anyways, I'm done. You know, that's a huge rant, but I don't want to say it's not so much of a rant, actually. It's more of a angry enlightenment. It's like me speaking to a congregation, you know? It's like I'm not one of those preachers that just sits there and like, oh, blah, 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 and let's just like dip over and not talk about shit or anything. You know, I'm in your face talking about the fucking issues at fucking hand, straight in your fucking face. You know, so that's very different. And it's not complaining or ranting, it's enlightenment.